One man is lost in the fog. His friend brings a torch in the night. They walk arm in arm through the dark, guided by one man's sight. One man's sight. Some cannot walk, some cannot see, some cannot speak, some cannot hear, some cannot learn, some cannot think, but all can love, and all can feel, and all can care, and all can change, and all can learn, and all can grow. We are equal in the same. We are equal in the same. We are equal in the same. Two men were working the land, two farmers making their trade. And while one was blind, he was still the mind behind the world's best lemonade, his lemonade. Some cannot walk, some cannot see, some cannot speak, some cannot hear, some cannot learn, some cannot think, but all can love, and all can feel, and all can care, and all can change, and all can learn, and all can grow. We are equal in the same. We are equal in the same. We are equal in the same.
The children in our country are being made to be the victim of a situation they are not involved, and then sent to a foster home where they again are reintroduced to trauma of being the odd ball. Our courts are contaminated with young, inexperienced caseworkers and polluted with bribes, high-priced bonuses for speedy adoption of terminated parents, and judges who don't practice law with the Constitution in their sights. This is a problem. George Washington never thought of children as pawn in the game of freedom and American values, and never had he wanted to sell them. They were from his maker, his creator. Our children are being run down for no other reason than the profits being made in some way. Somehow these government agencies make money hand over fist day in and day out. They have you go to classes that they are billing for, and there is no viable reason for you to attend. Yet when you hear an update, CPS tells you that you're further away from when you started. Reunification is your goal, not theirs. And after you go through 12+ months of grueling, painstaking classes and meetings, all while getting the slimmest amount of time to visit your child, and even worst, you are always supervised, never alone again with your child. It's awful. How do they feel, do you think?
Where's the outrage? Why is nobody standing up for these families being torn apart by CPS?
Please don't tell me you're going to put all your bets on this superhero. You grown-ups are supposed to be coming to his rescue. Stop ignoring this problem. There is nothing more I can say to any of you. Please fight CPS and help those who have lost so much they can help themselves.
Hello, everybody. Today is 12/6/25. I found a cool little autistic greeting card basically today, so I decided that's my background for December. Hope you guys like it. Just child simply with puppy eyes, just asking to fit into the puzzle. Anyways, I hope everybody's doing. Hello, John. Hello, Erica. Glad you guys could make it in tonight. And how you guys doing this week? Give me a thumbs up. I wish we had like a little heart thing like they have on Zoom meetings where you can click heart, or thumbs up when so many people are talking. This restream's got to change a little bit, get up with the times, I guess. But anyways, let you guys know, I had a personal tough week myself again. I fought tooth and nail right up to the execution time of the appellate courts. For you guys don't know, I'm in the state of Connecticut. You can go to CTJUD, that's Connecticut Judicial, look it up online, go to the appellate court. You can actually look to the previous cases too that I've petitioned to the Supreme Court. My whole fight is about administrative duties. If you're non-compliant in your administrative duties, then how can you possibly be effectively giving program services and activities to people with not the normal system? In other words, when the system was built, because we pre-99, we used to institutionalize people, especially if you had a hot wife and she wasn't hot anymore and you wanted to go chase a young girl. And I do believe it was happening left and right. They would throw women in institutions and drug the hell out of them and basically probably rape them and everything else, because that's how institutions were. Personally, in the state of Connecticut, it's called Mansfield Training Center. And I still believe some of it still goes on, because less than 2 years ago, there was a man chained to a bed and the caregiver cramming his dick down the guy's mouth. Mental abuse, physical abuse, private, just everything that you can think of in the worst nightmare situation. Most of us get the chance to walk into a convalescent home, and we know what it smells like when we walk into these convalescent homes, unless you're in a place that's 15 G's a month, which reality, none of us can afford that. But anyways, back to my story. In this AC court, I fought tooth and nail for the appointment of an attorney under civil guillotine for my child. The judges decided that they're going to, 3-judge panel decided they're going to deny all the way up to the end, which again, if we look at Tennessee versus Lane, Tennessee Lane says it starts upon pulling into that parking lot of the building, or in cases where the state wants to come out and see you, like CPS or DDS home inspections, they would have to give you a policy and procedure right there that if you're feeling anytime you're being discriminated against, here's the policy and procedure to follow a complaint. Furthermore, is education law, because it is a due process right. They make you sign for these notices. Obviously, their notices are in error, filled with a lot of wrongs. But it's mostly in the schools have always been about the 504. Well, the ADA pulls out of the 504 enforcement. So the way I see it is basically they would have to be also compliant of the ADA. They are serving the public. They are a program, service, and activity of the town. It is an affirmative obligation. It's a constitutional education to educate any American citizen. We do it for illegals better, but what can we say? I'm not here to have that debate. I just feel that, again, if we ain't even taking care of our own people, that's from the vets to the seniors to the truly disabled, then shame on us as a society. And it brings me into another thing later. If you guys want to check it out, I did post some posts today on my Facebook And I think I'm going to start doing more of it. I've been a quiet person all my life. So anyone that wants to friend me, obviously find me, Henry J. Martaccio, on Facebook, and friend me. Let's start growing this, because I do believe that we're in the right. We're also on the side of God, where we're speaking up for people who cannot speak up for themselves. But I'm jumping around, but it's the AC court I wanted to get into a little bit. So I continued on in the middle of the trial, where you guys can again see my accommodation requests, you guys, which I think that's wrong. I don't think you should be in open court talking about your disabilities. I definitely do not think opposing counsel should have a right to the input to your disabilities. That's like saying I should be able to walk into your doctor's office and tell your doctor, well, I don't like that. You're doing too much for that person. It just doesn't make sense. Your HIPAA and your privacy to your private information is all there until you walk into court systems. And I just don't think it's correct. So anyways, the court continued on, and I basically hammered on him. I said, look at your ADA advisory committee hasn't met since 2011. That's your external. Internal hasn't met since 2009. But the state of Washington, obviously, in their policies and procedures, uses Bodie case in Connecticut. Bodie versus Connecticut, I think it was in 1969. And basically, it's reaffirming the right of people that cannot care for themselves to be represented thoroughly throughout all aspects of life. That's civil, criminal, any aspect. And there has to be a path. And again, when I get a hold of statewide legal services and they find out that you want to go after the state for non-compliancy or disability rights of Connecticut or I don't know, the DD Council. I just put something out on our DD Council right on the Facebook. I don't care. I'm done. I told him underneath USC 242-241, he's coercing to violate the rights of the disabled. I've identified, I've briefed. This is why on last weekend's show, I played in Watley versus Keller, state of Connecticut, Second Court of Appeals. And again, it was the whole fact there where, they were looking for loopholes. And I don't think that's fair, because if you're and stay with me on this, if you're cognitively impaired, why do you have an affirmative obligation to ask? Why do you have an affirmative obligation to inquire? Why do you have an affirmative obligation to know when the state is being paid to do all that job right there? And there's training entities that are supposed to be keeping an eye on these people called Connecticut again. I think it's called the ADA Coalition of Connecticut, or Connecticut's what is it? Olmsted. It's the local chapter of Olmsted, which, if you're not familiar with Olmsted, it's basically, again, 99 ordering everyone to be out of institutions and start coming into community living. Then 1990 was the ADA. They gave them 8 years. That's when we became into the ADAA of 2008. That is key to your factor, guys. That's when compliance was mandated. 35 years and a half years later, we're still fighting the same subject, that there is no avenue. And what they want these people to do is to get so discouraged that they just crawl underneath a rock, and they're willing to get the scraps of life that the state's willing to give them as they go on luxury vacations. Oh my God, I just saw last night the state employee banquet for Christmas was over at the AquaTurf, which is a very high-end golf course, wedding place, the whole 9 yards, in Avon, Connecticut. And they had a staircase just filled with, some garbage toys. Like, it's going to really matter to somebody's life when the garbage toy is got no roof over their head, or mommy and daddy ain't both in the life, because I do believe it takes two parents to raise a child. There's things that they get from each parent. And that's why I feel absolutely, absent true neglect and harm and true abuse, I don't think the government should be taking kids away. That's how bad it's got to be. If the living condition is what it is what it is. If the family feels like they want to eat cat and dog, and that's part of their religious beliefs, so be it. I don't really care. Because it's sort of like when you look at an Italian family, what they eat, and I don't know, I can't think of another. I don't know, Polish family, kielbasa and potato, where Guineas want pasta and meatballs. I'm half Guinea, I'm half Polish, so somebody says I'm prejudiced again, screw you. Where do you think Henry comes from? I'm actually a Lithuanian, so I guess I'm a higher form of a Polak, so my uncle told me all my life. But anyways, yeah, so I don't know. It's just, it's, how can I say it? It's wrong that what's going on in these courts. And from there, I had another hearing. It's in regards to my mother's estate. And in that hearing, the judge, who for multiple years in the same probate court for 17 years with two different presiding judges, actually three, Judge Griffin got appointed and then he had a heart attack and died. And I'll tell you guys, honestly, there's only one man that I would, again, respect as a judge, and that would be Judge Griffin. The guy went out of his way to ensure and reaffirm me because he saw me going batshit crazy because the state was allowing me not to terminate the mother's rights because she is a bad person. She's done some bad stuff, but whatever. I call the line after you beat me once. All right. You beat me twice. There's a fucking third. There's a problem. You beat me 3 times. Nah. So, but her story, MO, is 20 beatings, 30 different guys, whatever it is, arrests, everything. She's young and dumb. Yeah, I fell into the trap. I know. But whatever. It is what it is. And I'm blessed to have Nathan because God put him on my steps because he knows I'm a fighter and I ain't going to take this shit no more of the state of Connecticut. So proceed that hearing, and this is what I'm all rattled about, is this judge who's been there for this long. I briefed the hell out of her, guys. When I say I briefed the hell out of her on the ADA, she doesn't even know what to do. She looks at me and she trembles. And I'd put her at 35, so she sort of got voted in as on a popular vote because the person, Keith Yagoff, who is an attorney out of Connecticut, ran against her. And he's a hell of a lot smarter. He's got my respect, but he lost me when he bowed his head and couldn't look me in the eye when I asked him about, come on, Keith, you represent disabled people. You don't think it's fair that you know their rights, the regulations, the policies and procedures, and stop the abuse? And he wouldn't give me an answer like most. But when you run into them in the public and you got your children with you, you can see them clinch up on their children like, I'm actually going to do something. Are you kidding me? I want you alive paying your insurance so I can sue you. Because sooner or later, this fraud is going to end, guys. And when I say to you end, we're at a close. But I'm going to go back to the probate again because that's a whole nother thing I can get into. A lot on my mind. I'm so confused, tired, stressed. And again, it is dead stressful. So anyways, she proceeded to have this. Now, I have a request because I cannot confirm if my mother died in a hospital, an autopsy would have been done automatically. If she died in a convalescent home, an autopsy would be done automatically. She died in the home. And unfortunately, I was segregated from her death by other family members. And it's disgusting, the whole thing that was done to her. But again, this judge decided after me begging, 8, 9 times to the court, asking for help. I even got my mother to agree on signing a petition, change a thing, because it was about my child was promised to have the home for intellectual kids. It was setting him up for life with the life use of the home. And I wanted to do something for a community that nobody really doesn't care about. It's not hard to build little activity centers and let these people, have little vegetable stands and interact with the community. Even if we just go down to the park and pick up trash free of charge for the day, put it in a bag and it says, you know, something like HJMS Farms, helping join mankind services and inclusion. So if you know any big power people with money, I got a great idea on the table. And I think we can go really crazy with it. I mean, not only from growing, but activities too. We're into motorcycles. I think slingshots are a really cool motorcycle. It's 2 tires in the front, 1 in the back. Nothing needed but no special driver's license. And, you know, you rent them for like $250 for the day, and you take out my guy with you. We bring you on a loop. We give you lunch, you know, obviously some kind of vegetable situation, and you're giving somebody an opportunity to be part of the community. So, in your communities, I'm asking you as a favor to do that for me, and I'd be really appreciative. Do something nice for somebody with a disability this Christmas, because that's what it's all about. But back to the judge. So I have this ex parte motion here, and the body's not even cold, and they're trying to file paperwork for gaining of the property and the body, and they can turn around and distribute the estate. My mother's not even around. 1, 2 is there's an ex parte motion. I briefed the judge saying you cannot put a regular standard motion, which takes, again, discovery, it takes depositions, it's going to take, you know, evidence, the whole 9 yards. And yet this judge, we're going forward. So they sent me over. She happened to be getting married the week it happened, which God only knows why you'd do that. But I think they sent me over to Windsor Tobacco Valley probate court. So this judge started the whole thing. And guys, if you guys don't know, I at least do it. And it was taught to me, and now the courts are saying, oh, it's not necessary anymore. No, I think it's necessary. On the lower left-hand corner of any brief you guys write, you guys want to put in bold letters, request 28 CFR 35.107 on the same page as their headings. So again, lower bottom corner, I can show you if I got it over here. And this is just basically what I've filed in this week, just to kind of let you guys know. I can't share probate information with you guys, but anything public about me, you're more than welcome to go look and question me on it. But it's pretty big. But again, here it is. I don't know if you can see it or not. Maybe I would have to shut off that background effect. There it is. There it is. There it is. 28 CFR 35.107, lower corner. I'm asking you guys to do that because that's showing that it doesn't matter. The judge has to look at it when he looks at it. It's the official front page with the stamp, with the whole 9 yards. There is unrefutable evidence that you've requested. And again, now they have to show when they've given. If they don't show that on the record, it's discrimination. Case closed. Don't have to go any further. Don't have to get into the argument of how they did it, what they did it. It's pretty crazy, in my opinion, how stupid these people are. But yeah, so that judge continued on. He says, nope, we're going to table that. I go, sir, you cannot table an ex parte hearing motion. Mine's an emergency motion, and you can't do that. So he basically turned around and says, nope, we started it. So obviously I was able to put on enough argument for the hour, because that's all they had was an hour given to us. And I put on the argument for the hour and basically concluded. Now, the shock was on the 3rd, I'm being forced to be Zoom, which if, again, people have any ideas or thoughts on this, as it applies to the disabled, saying you're disabled, you have the extra burden of technology. You have the extra burden of knowing program. Because, guys, if you know me, I hate damn computers. I hate them with a passion. They could burn them for all I care. Well, maybe not my MP3, not my cell phone. But after that, yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So it's another factor of the undue burden against the disabled, because, again, They won't point Nathan an attorney. I've questioned his court millions of times. I've shown them the legal right under civil Gideon. I've shown them other state laws. Other states have it as a policy and procedure. And if you happen to be from one of those states and they're not doing it, I get it fully, because that's what I'm hearing from Massachusetts. Massachusetts is a pretty detailed state, and yet they've learned again to work within their cheating ways within the statutes as applied to the situation, because that's what you got to do, is apply it to your administrative duties. That means self-evaluations, that you got to look at the whole 9 yards. But so I don't know. So I look up and it's her, and I just freaking lit a fuse. There's no way, after I'm asking this judge last hearing, telling this judge from the Greater Windsor Probate Court that again, this woman is discriminated against me, and you're denying me the 28 CFR 35.107, just like the appellate courts. Now, I don't get it, how these people just think that they got the absolute immunity just to say, nah, we don't have to answer you. It's quite mind-boggling, because again, for those that don't know or haven't read or listened to Congress passing the ADA laws, basically they said DOJ, then it comes to the designated responsible employee, 28 CFR 35.107. That person there is supposed to have the authority, and they're charged, and it would be an actual crime for them to turn their blind eye to the discrimination. It'd be a federal crime now. And that's the only person, because again, the federal government is paying for that position. This is what we're getting at, guys. They're paying and funding at state level a portion of that, or if not all that, through grants, however you want to look at it. Because again, without that one person, the department cannot exist. And you do not have to go to the EEOC, which is basically your HR department. Or if I was working at, I don't know, Home Depot, I'm just using them. It's an entity that would have within its department where if you had a disability and they hired you and you said, hey guys, I like this one. I got a broken arm. I can put a sling on. I can still carry the pipe, because obviously, guys, I'm a plumber. I can carry the pipe. I can get the job done with my one hand. Yeah, I'll be a burden, but I'll be slower, but I can show up and do it. And if something goes wrong, they're not held liable as discrimination or harm from, let's just say you tripped and fell and you couldn't put out your hand because you had this hand full, and you claim now because this hand, now you were on the job site. Again, I'm getting way complicated, but I'm giving you a scenario in my mind that's just working. So anyways, this is where I've been sent to, is the EEOC. So in my next round of little paperwork, I have obviously a motion to disqualify this judge in the whole 9 yards, which I would love if anyone's got some thoughts or knows of a case where a judge is actually punished more because they're mandated by the prophylactic protections in the strictest scrutiny standard in anything they do with a disabled person. So again, it just doesn't make sense to me, again, how they turned their cheek on administrative duties. They're not in charge of the administrative duties. Just like I told the appellate court, you have no right to even make a finding in this case, because you do not hold the monetary control of the department itself, judiciary as a whole. The only person who would be that is the Chief Justice of our Supreme Court. He's in charge of the whole system. He appoints people to do the work. And if it ain't designated in writing, if you don't have a job description for that position, if you don't have effective training for that position, if you don't have somebody that's, I believe in Rikers Island, also stated educational qualifications. So that's a huge one, guys, where we're getting hit in Connecticut with a bunch of ignorant people that I feel like I'm teaching night and day the law. And it just doesn't make sense where, again, the ADA and the 504 is found everywhere in the government. This is where it just doesn't make sense to me on how we can just play this ignorant. And it really, really sucks. So anyone got any ideas or any thoughts on it? But there's a couple of things I got going on with a couple of emotions. But I also want to say I went in that judiciary review. That's why I said I am doing something on her. I went to their website. And the funny part is, ready this, if you go to their website, you'll see the ADA contact information, which again, that's how you get to your rights. You got to read their paperwork. And I have to now go to the state administration services to get justice. This makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. And again, I believe it's part of the EEOC. I haven't cross-referenced the addresses. That's something that I got to do next. Because within the EEOC, is all the whole HR department. And again, if I'm going to the administration, I've been going there. If anything, I feel I should be going to the Office of Civil Rights, which by state statute in my briefs, in my complaints, you'll see my state statute complaints, and you'll be able to say, okay, I see what he's doing. They passed this law then, well, the ADA would apply to that. They passed this law then, the ADA. So if they didn't include and modify their laws in writing that they recognize this modification right, and what are the modifications for what disability as a starting point, as an offer, because we the people do not know how far their program services and activities are. It's just bottom line. And we're not supposed to know. We're citizens. We're supposed to be dumb camels. So I don't know. I'm so flustered it ain't even funny. But anyways, I don't know. 1993. I know I can do a removal on the question. I've done it once. So if you guys got the way to look up federal courts, Connecticut First Court of Appeals, Hartford, Connecticut, you'd want to look at my removal. And in that one, I used, I think it was Rachel versus Georgia. It's a military case. And that military case was about a private being told to do something that he knew was fucking wrong. And yet, we'll just say his lieutenant or the person in command of the base was telling him now, or the field, because at that time it was fields. No, you got to do it this way, and that's how it's going to be. We're going to go in there and kill him, or do. It was an unethical move for him to do as a private. He knew, godly speaking, it was wrong. So it allowed them to go to above to the next level, and I believe it was right directly to a general review council, a general's review council. And he applied and says, listen, you guys are the ones that are making the laws for everybody. And again, this would apply here. But I thought it was a great one. But you know how they did is they came back and said, oh, we don't get involved in family matters. Well, wait a minute. How's that possible when I'm listening to other people? And it makes sense what they're saying, especially Jerry. I think that guy's pretty hot, man. I'd like to meet him sometime. Invite him on the show or something, because he's telling it how it is. It's straight up. And but yeah. So, anyways, if the government is part of the party, then how can they be part of the action? I just don't get it. If we're considered their property, I just don't get it. It just doesn't make sense to me. But I can't get into the Constitution shit because I really suck, other than I know I got rights and don't screw with me. I really suck at that end of it, compared to these other big boys that are out there. And top off to even Tanoa Dowan, last night. He had a great show. It was great, short to the point, and that's it. I thought it was very, very exciting last night. And so I don't know, but I just feel, again, if Congress gave DOJ the rights, DOJ's lying. You always get sent to the person who's about ready to retire anyways. They deny you. they send back a complaint saying, "Oh, we don't consider you not having merit or not, but at this time we don't have the resources to handle it." That's the excuse. Somebody told me there is a path or there is a way that I can go in there to preserve the evidence. I think it was in one of the talk shows. I can't remember. I would like to give that person credit. I'm going to be searching that out in the next month. At least preserve the evidence. And then once the evidence is built, and you don't have to do it in a way that is strictly, these briefs that are incredibly hard to make with attachments. Did you got one spaced out wrong, and they'll reject the whole thing. So it's sort of like, which again, I went and argued the ADA on that, guys. Any possible way you could write and do your appeal, do it. I did it there. You'll find it in AC 48057. Because again, I told them, listen, I can't, again, technology, I can't make hyperlinks. How the hell do I make hyperlinks? Why do I want to make hyperlinks? I just never got it in life. I'm a more hands-on type person, construction, and no need for it. So, but yeah, I'm trying to think what we should do. As a fact, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing if I can quickly find Jerry and his little video, what he did today, because I sent it to a few people. I'm not sure. Yes, Henry, that's good in thought. Oh, it sounds like you are making. Thanks, John. I'm sorry, guys. I haven't been reading it because again, when the thing is going, I'm just a person that gets distracted because when I get into my thoughts, I got so much racing through my head, knowing I got an hour to give a spiel on what makes sense and what's logical. None of us are experts, but we got a right to talk to about it like a Sunday paper. Again, this is only for educational purposes, and if you might have come with something, it's only for educational purposes too. Send it to me, because I'm dealing with the fact that people are stealing my son's land that we've invested in incredibly. I've repaired it for 58 years of my life. I'm fourth generation to be on the land. He is fifth generation. I predate the bank deal. It's just insane how far. It's disgusting. When I was a kid, there was a guy called Mr. Thrall over in East Windsor. And he went after the town. He was 92 years old and told him to get off his land in the early 70s because he built a beautiful dance hall. Insane. And they said he couldn't do it because it was all materials that he knocked down out of the city of Hartford and brought the material to his land. And over the years, used his brain to build this and never did anything. It was hidden in the woods. And then he just showed it to them one day. Well, turned out UConn was up there and engineered the place and looked at it because the daughter wanted to get an opinion on what it would cost to open it legally. Now that he's dead, she can now legally open it. It makes no sense to me. But anyways, he was pissed because they were on his land, and he told them to get off his land for constitutional reasons, where, again, he was born from a time where government didn't come and see how you build, or government didn't bother you when you were on your land. You were able to do as long as you didn't harm nobody else. So basically, your land can't poison the stream, and the stream goes down and kills all the other cows. That's basically it in a nutshell. And other than that, you wouldn't have anyone. You would actually have a militia knocking on your door saying, "What the hell is going on here, son?" But yeah, but I respect the guy now, and I'm getting why he did what he did, because again, it's so crazy, the overreach of this government. It's just insane. And again, it's like, I don't think it's a minority problem. I think it's an us and them problem. There's society's elite that just has to have somebody to put them down, and then there's us who just want to get along and enjoy our lives and make it as fruitful as we can. Not take advantage of somebody, not go out and ruin other people's lives. But yeah, I don't know, but I don't know. It's crazy. Maybe I should, seeing how it's 22. If you guys don't mind, I'm gonna go ahead and find that video from Jerry because I'm really digging this guy.
I'm gonna try this week to get there.
Who's there? Hey, who came in on the show?
Hey, Henry, how are you?
Hey, it's you, brother. What's happening, man? You got finally a minute?
Yeah, here we are. I'm here. I just got in.
Even you've had a hell of a week, huh?
Yeah, man. Even the Punisher has tough times.
Dude, I don't know how you do it, man.
Well, I don't sometimes.
But that's a new beautiful logo you got there. Can you blow that up nice and big? Take me down and blow that up nice and big.
Well, I can show you it right here. It's this one here. How was your song tonight, Henry? Was it nice?
Yeah, that was a good one. I liked them. I like them all. I don't like the heavy metal stuff, though. I'll be truthful. I'm more of a hip hop wiki. Then give me some good old freaking give me some good old Zeppelin, or even
there you go, Henry. How about that,
dude? That is gorgeous, man. I like it. I like it a lot. That is hot.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Nothing but the best here, buddy.
Yeah, well, it's got to take hours to do that stuff, Darren. You got talent.
It does, everything takes me time, brother. Everything takes me time. I try to do it so that everybody can enjoy the stuff. Look, I'm trying to make the stigma to this stuff go away, because we got to make the stigma go away, right? Because we can't do anything till the stigma goes away.
Right.
When the stigma goes away, then people will be able to they'll come on board and they'll help us. That's the bottom line. Like that's the reality of this. Until we can change the stigma and the way people view people affected by CPS, then we are not going to go anywhere, because we can't go anywhere without the people that are not affected by CPS. I mean, we're getting them in slowly. We're getting them slowly.
What else do you need?
What did Mayor say? I thought I heard Mary.
Yeah, hell in the hen's nest here.
But yeah, it's I don't know. It's been a good week, I think, overall. There's some good news, good hopes. We're gonna actually find out, guys. Seriously, I think the next 2 weeks we'll find out. Because if the shit ain't in there before Christmas break, I don't think it's gonna roll out in January. Because it's already like at that point where you had the bills from last year that were proposed, new ones this year, crisis bills, and then they all hit the floor at once. So let's just hope Congress can keep their shit together and get something done. That's all it takes is Trump to pull out the pin and just magically make an executive order, bro. The rules are there. Again, there's so many entities that got so many proposed bills up there. I just don't get why his team has not picked it up and ran with it.
Henry, in all fairness, man, the government was shut down. There was a lot of problems. They got to get back to work. They got to do their government things, man.
See what I think it is? Our problem has been here, and it can wait. Right now, as he deals with other bullshit in the world, you know what I mean? And again, just look at what was it, Michigan there? It's up to $100 billion worth of COVID fucking racketeering.
Yeah, I talked to people up in Michigan.
100 billion, bro. Do you know what you can do with that?
Check this out, man. Is that true? Because I talked to people that are in the they were in the Flint, Michigan situation, and they still haven't gotten a dime. And how many years has that been? 10 years now? 10 years. Crazy. They haven't gotten a dime. Their kids are completely destroyed. The health problems that they've gotten is just out of control. And they've gotten not a bit of relief from anybody. The woman I talked to, she lost her house. She's lost everything because of the Flint, Michigan. She lost her family. Her kids have turned psychotic. Her husband's dying of cancer. and not one dime. Now she's out living in her car because she lost her home. And they're not giving them any money up there. They're not giving them any relief. So beware of when the government's saying they're spending all this money. What we need to follow the tracks and say, where is this money actually going to? Are the people that need this money getting it?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that because, like in our cases, like with the Department of Developmental Services, I think they think it's something like 6 cents on every dollar the federal government gives to the state makes it to the person for services. How can that fucking be? How can that be? 6 cents.
Henry, I mean, not for nothing. There's people out there that are running under what they say are nonprofits that all the money that people donated is getting to nowhere of the cause and getting put in.
I've seen that too. I've seen that too.
I know that the Red Cross. Do you know that the Red Cross, for every dollar that you give the Red Cross, that only 10 cents goes towards the actual causes of the Red Cross? 90% of it goes to their administrative and their other stuff.
Listen,
So
even hospitals. I don't think a hospital should be making a profit at all.
well, I mean,
You
people
know?
have to make money, right? Like people have to make
Listen,
money.
you have to make money. Everyone's making the job money. Don't get me wrong. When you're paying your CEO $5 million, $6 million, and he's only there 360 days out of the year, out of that maybe 110. And really, seriously, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Then they get bonuses on top of it. It just no.
Well,
No.
I mean, do you agree or disagree that you enjoy capitalism?
Listen, I agree to a point, but when we know it's a necessity, then why don't we make capitalism as part of like DMVs? And Jersey's finding that out because didn't Jersey privatize all their highway system or some shit like that? I know the tolls are to privatize, and I think getting your license became private, and it sucks down there. It's worse than ever. And but again, if it was one thing that the system was outrageous and the guy was getting paid on bonuses for performance, that's a different story, Darren. You shouldn't just get paid if it's in the shithole and you got complaints against you and you got screw ups left and right. You shouldn't be getting bonuses.
Well, I mean, if they're getting bonuses, doesn't that mean that they've met their the criteria for the bonus,
they're getting
right?
bonuses now today for capture. Yes, I'm talking about performance bonuses. It should be based on. I've heard you say it too. How many times you reunify a family, we'll give you 15 G's.
Right. Well, think about it. If they took that Title IV funding,
Right.
reversed it, maybe not the Title IV funding because the Title IV funding is based on reunification anyway. Those what's the word I'm looking for here? If they took those incentives so that reunification was the goal, why the money would stay the same? It would just go for a different thing. So hey, you get paid a bonus for each reunification that you sponsor and put in.
Dude.
I mean, that would be huge, right? So no one would.
Right.
There would be no changes.
Or it could be as simple as, hey, listen, every modification that leads to a reunion. When I say modification, again, it could be as simple that these people need help for a house over the kid's head, or they need a car or something.
But see,
stupid.
that's all supposed to be there already.
Right. Like they got medical needs out of this world, and they need a car that's insured, Monday through Friday.
Right.
So
And the husband needs his license.
Let him give it.
But the husband needs his license, and they're taking that from him because he owes it back in child support. So he can't.
Well, I didn't bring that one into the picture yet, but all right. Makes no sense.
And then
Or your boss is about to fire you because you're in court 24/7.
Right. How are you supposed to have a job when CPS is up your ass the whole time saying you need services, you need this service, you need that service, you need this service, you need that service, you need this service?
Now, do you remember that show Night Court?
Of course I do, man.
Right. And again, it's not hard. With the technology we have today, this could not be hard at all. And sorry, lawyers, if you have to work at night.
You know what? That was a different time. That's when they went by the rule. Did you know that when you get arrested, if you get arrested, you are to go to see a magistrate immediately before going to the police station, before going to the jail, before going to anywhere that you're going to. You're supposed to go and see a magistrate, and they're supposed to say if or not there was enough evidence in there to commit you to these conditions that you're being put in front of. But now we've let that go, and that's what the premise of night court was. There's a 24-hour court, right? Court was on 24 hours a day. This was the guys that were at nighttime that ran the show. Bull and Jesus, Bull and I forget the other guy's name.
Dan, the dirty DA. Yeah. Of course, they always had a hot little bubble-headed freaking prosecutor.
Yeah, with what's his name there?
And I think that's what the image is, because the ones I've had, they try to be like they're hot and they're not, and they'll like, you know, you see like they go to get pampered and nails are done, everything's perfect, and I don't know, just doesn't make sense to me anymore. It's almost as bad as seeing a 70-year-old woman in dressed up, you know, in a gut shirt or something crazy, and you know, walking around the streets.
What, a pterodactyl?
Pterodactyl.
There's nothing wrong with a woman, with a 70-year-old woman in a cutoff shirt, Andrew.
But you know, with a gut hanging on the floor and just nah.
Well, look, that's people need to get back in touch with themselves, and they need to start having pride in themselves again. That's the problem.
People need to have self-pride and self-respect again, because if you don't have it for yourself, you can't give it to nobody else.
Right, but you know what? When you've had everything stripped away from you, because we don't know why the 70-year-old lady with the gut hanging out is 70-year-old.
No, it's for sexual reasons. I was going to say the tiger. I was going to say having the tiger pants on and all the other good stuff.
Yeah, the leopard pants.
Yeah, the leopard pants, whatever.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, I can understand how they could, and you know, they listen. As long as they think that they're beautiful, that's all that matters, anyway. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you think or I think. As long as that person thinks that they're beautiful, then that's all that matters, man.
It just seems like there's too much competition, and girls do not get dressed up for guys. Girls get dressed up to compete with other girls. Period.
Yes, you are correct, sir.
You know, and,
it doesn't matter what
it's pretty sad. It's pretty sad.
Yeah, it sure is. But you know what? What are we going to do about it? We can't do anything about it but make people feel better about themselves.
Well, that's it. And again, you know, that's why I started off with do a little giving this year. You know, I changed up. What do you think of my background? You didn't even say anything.
It's very nice, Henry.
Thanks. I made it today. I did a cut, copy, paste.
You did a very nice job, Henry. I'm very impressed with you. Very, very impressed.
High tech Henry. This is that Let Me Be festive.
Yep. No more Hammer and the Hank. It's high tech Henry.
You know the story.
Yep. So
for our viewers that don't know, me and Becca spent 3 hours this morning after I spent 3 hours with the HP support friends out of India, which I personally would call 8 o'clock in the morning, get the Nova Scotia people because they're better. I did spend 4 hours with him, and he's the same thing. He just gave up on it. I cannot import because Taryn is making me use Google One Docs now and all this other stuff, and high-tech Henry's coming along. I even
you're doing very well.
I even did with Becca today, adjusted my YouTube so it says Henry J. Because again, there used to be the reason why I use my middle name. One is since I've been young, HJM, you know, or Hammer and Hank, or you know, whatever. So
yeah, HJM has a nice sound to it, you know.
Yeah. Well, did you like the name of my farm that me and Nathan were building? Was HJMSI, helping joining mankind services and inclusion, because this is what we're missing, guys, in our society today. Church used to be your inclusion. You know what I mean? Nobody goes to church anymore. It's just, what's your inclusion now? The school system? Are you kidding me?
Well, I was just watching a video on that earlier on this guy's TikTok, and I don't mean to butt in on your conversation here about it.
No.
This day and age, man, the teachers are not. And I'm sorry if there's any teachers listening or not, but the problem is the teachers need to adapt to what the students are, where they're at. Like they're getting they're going on like dopamine withdrawals, if you will, when they're at school because they don't have their phones in front of them, right? So teachers need to learn how to adapt to that, because it's not new that kids are not behaving and not taking care of. Like, look at when we were in school, man. You look around the classroom during a film strip, everybody's passed out. You know, so this isn't new that there's no tension in the classroom.
The purpose of school, I could see a half a day. I could see a half a day. Get them in, get them out, and like it used to be, get them outside working on the farm because that's the only way. We are not meant to be in the building 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We're supposed to be out and about.
There's a bunch of people that will disagree with you on that.
Well,
but, hey,
I got a question. Did the caveman have a roof over his head? Hell no. They lived in open fire. The Indians, open fire, teepees.
They had rocks. They went to caves. That's why they're called the cavemen.
Well, there wasn't caves everywhere.
Well, I mean, then they also dragged women around by their hair, Henry. So how far we've come since then.
But I'm just saying the purpose of man being put on the earth, God gave enough for man to survive. He gave him, like you said, the cave. He gave him fire. He gave him berries. He gave him the capability of killing and getting meat. You know what I mean? It's just whatever. So
he gave you the, the other,
where today, if we don't have our Air Jordans and our Disney trips, we're not a good parent, or Xbox.
Right. Well, that's another thing, like you shouldn't be gauged in school by what you have. That's always too been a problem, right? Like if you weren't able to go on a school field trip or something, you felt isolated. Right. Same thing with these kids and the Jersey kids,
right.
Like,
when I was in school, it was a ski team because all the cool kids went there. Yeah. I didn't have the money for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
well, did you know that if CPS wants you to get involved in functions and activities and things like that they've got to supply the money for that program? You know that, right?
Well, the Department of Social Services and that's been my argument with them about inclusion, community inclusion, that the Department of Social Services is supposed to be teaming up with towns to create town activities that were inclusive.
Yeah.
I get you're not going to get a guy easily to go hike a mountain. I get that.
Right. I don't think.
But then again, today's technology, there's hovercrafts now. I'm seeing YouTube. Have you seen that yet? A YouTube hovercraft for Dubai. The guys in Dubai. We built it. We invented it, and it hovers right over the sand. He turns it 360. Who the hell knows what we got? Whether it's AI or it's real, I don't know. Did you see the one I sent you this morning on Jerry where he said, we're screwed about the United States and don't worry, we already lit off an EMP bomb that took out all the tracking devices on every nuclear system in the world.
I heard Jerry. That's Jerry said that. He said that they did that the other day.
Yeah.
I don't know what I don't know. It's a scary thing, man, because
then he got into the problem is the lawyers. We're back to the lawyer bullshit. And don't worry. The lawyers are going to kill us. It's not going to be freaking World War III or the aliens that are coming. It's going to be the damn lawyers.
Well, in 2018, they were using these flying motorbikes over there. Dubai's police force takes to the skies.
No shit. So it's real. It's a real TikTok, huh?
Yeah, it says hoverboard sees a Dubai police flying lesson. Let's see if this is right here. Let me put this on your show here for you real quick, if you don't mind.
Maybe we're just going too fast for ourselves, Darren. I don't know. Some people say we ain't going fast enough.
I see here.
I still say we were meant to be freaking on the ground, outside, underneath the sun, not in a spaceship, flying to fucking Mars to do what? Yeah.
Hello.
That looks cool. I would ride it. I'd be the first one to say, let me try. I'll be the crash dummy.
I don't know about being a crash dummy, but
well, that's what those guys are, man. When you're taking up something like that for the first flight. But this guy actually had like a little I want to say like Starship power packs underneath because he had lights. There was no propellers. It was done with anti-gravity crap. But even Jerry came out like Gunner. He was saying that he was inventing a power system. Power system.
look at that thing, man. Look at that. And that's everything.
I would love it.
That was back in 2019, bud.
Yeah.
You know, so whatever's coming around the pike now, you know, like whoa.
We'll find out in January when the Martians start flying over our heads.
Well, okay, so
You
I watched
did hear China says it's Martians now, right? 100%. They told you they're calling out the fucking whatchamacallit. They're calling out the Pentagon and our Space Force is lying to everyone.
What if see, everything's getting so out of control. You don't know what's real, what's not, what is, what isn't.
This is AI shit, dude. You listen, they're gonna be generating these shows pretty soon. I put up a bullshit one on our Family Justice and Accountability Connecticut site just because I thought it was interesting in arguing the fact of law in the court. It was pretty cool. It's a cool bot. I think I sent it to you too.
Did you?
Yeah, there was a lot of good ones on this morning. I went crazy.
Okay.
I was just in the mood because I was quiet all week, and I don't know. I just had to get some junkie time on this.
Yeah. Hey,
That's what it is. And you know what honestly brought me into all of this is just Facebook Marketplace. Because Craigslist sucks.
Yeah, we got all kinds of things on there, right?
Well, you got Henry's up there in Maine, don't you?
We got Uncle Henry's. Yes, we do.
Uncle Henry's, that's the name of it.
Yeah, we sure do, man.
Still
I mean,
find
the
it
world's
in the
changing.
fucking
The world is
goddamn shops on the weekends, the breakfast places, and isn't that crazy? Still printed
For those of you
paper.
that don't know, Uncle Henry's is a an actual paper guide. They do just have it online now, but it's like a and what they used to actually do is they had a show on a radio station up here called WOKQ that they would read off things. This is just like a big classified. That's all it is Uncle Henry's, and it'd be cheap, you know, stuff that people were getting rid of or yard sailing or whatever. You could call up the WOKQ on Sunday mornings. I think it was from like 8 to noon, and you could go, well, hey, I don't remember the guy's name that used to host it, but we'll call him Bojangles. He said, hey, Bojangles, this is Tommy Hemman over here down here, and I got myself a lawnmower. It's got 2 wheels, one in the front, one in the back. Lawnmower blade about 36 inches. Here's said you can pick it up. Needs an oil change. Don't run right now, but it can. I got 6 kitchen chairs. 2 of them lost some of the threading on it. So
yeah.
And I have an old rusty spatula that I'm selling, and my number is 207-777-7777. And the guy would come back on and be like, all right, that's 207-777-7777. And then you call in and say, hey, man, I want to get this, that guy's chair that's falling apart.
Yeah, we had Bob Steele 1080 every Sunday morning, the tag sale, 1080 tag sale.
Yeah.
And you can call in every Sunday. But no,
you know that we have a call-in number
one time in my life because I had a friend that was going to Maine and picking up potatoes and hay and, trucking it back here to town. And,
that's nice.
It's cool. And again, I'm sorry. That's the problem. We lost the skills to take apart a chair, repair it, and put it back together. Where there was a time you had to know those skills just to have freaking a chair at your house. That's what you spent your day doing. Surviving.
Henry, do you know what else has come up this week for us?
What's coming up this week?
Well, we got the app.
Well, we launched last week. Why don't we have a demonstration on how to use it?
Soft launch last week. So if everybody suck it up for the next day, I'm trying to get it out for everything to be locked down tonight. And then it's going to go to the new pay scale and everything. But I'll tell you what, man, we are testing this thing, and this thing is blowing all these other AIs out of the water.
That is sweet, bro.
So make sure when you go and you're trying to pull it up.
And we're only using the AIs to check us afterwards, and most of all is just to check for improprieties that somebody denied you your rights, and it's just a suggestion. It's not a
educational purposes.
Right. It's just a suggestion.
So even though it'll print
just
you out,
to know that you're not going crazy, because when you got 20 people telling you, no, you're wrong. No, bite me, Your Honor, you're wrong. That's the way I was this week, bro. I had enough.
Right.
My head is just popping at the seams. My kid is 22
Mhm.
years old. I've been fighting this for so long. I'm tired. I am tired, and
Yeah.
this is what they do. And it ain't my child's disability. It's the actual freaking government itself.
Well, this is going to put us in. It's for education only, but like this is going to make it so that we do not have to stress as much as we are now, because now this thing is going to hold your hand, and it's going to make you be able to pay attention to what's going on.
Right.
Like,
Well,
this
no,
is
it's
it.
going to keep
This
you
is-
in order. Sort of like how you
Well,
how,
that
how
too.
you have your phone contact list on, and that's basically what these courts should be doing. And again, I don't get why AI judges are not here. And yes, I'll take a jury trial of 20 AI robots. Okay. Let
Yep.
them listen to the facts and then let them spit it out, because and they got to be 20 different kinds. So, sort of like we found out in the election, they hacked the election, not only by dead people voting, but also the fact that they can manipulate the software. So if somebody was to hack into the robots and say, "Oh, give them the death penalty," fuck,
Right.
it's no accountability because you can't trace it. But
Well, that's what they're doing to us when they give us. Look at, man, when they order a TPR on any of these parents that are out
death
here,
penalty.
that's the death penalty, man. That is the civil death penalty. I've been saying that for years, and I'm finally glad that people are catching on to this.
It's not only that, but it keeps
and
the
look at how
next
fast. Look at how
generation in the
fast.
system.
This is so unfair to us. This is so it's not right. So this AI now, our CPS Punisher app, is going to level it out. As you would say, it's going to level the field, man. It's going to make it equal for us to get on that field and say, look at here. These are the violations that we have. Things that your lawyers haven't been able to tell you, things that no one's going to tell you. And they're going to just send you into these courtrooms. So now you can keep your attorney in check. You can say, hey, look, no. This thing tells me that I have a court. This is it. Like, this is, now you can be educated with
After confirming what the bot says, you go and confirm it, and then you go ahead and you say, "Hey, sir, I've just looked it up this in the law, and this is what the law says truthfully."
Right.
And the AI confirmed it.
Right. With evidence.
With evidence.
It is very detailed.
But seriously,
So I don't know if any of you have tried this out yet or not, but go to www.thecpspunisher.com. Check it out. It's running in almost its full capacity right now. It's in a demo mode, but you guys have access to everything. Play around with it. Let us know if you guys have any issues with it. Go, email cpsbhuntingjustice@gmail.com. Let us know. Let Alicia know. Let Henry know. Let anybody know if you guys are having issues with it. Then please, let us know, and let us fix these kinks and these works before we implement.
Of course, it's going to have kinks.
Well, right, but you know what I'm saying.
But fundamentally, it's there, guys. Fundamentally, it is there. I'm an idiot, and it's good for me because it does all the spell checking I need. It does all the proper English I need. It does everything. Where again, I'm the one finger typer. I don't know about you guys, but I one finger type, and I do have the dictation software, but it seems like if my computer's not all glitched out that day, it works great. If it is glitched out, it does some crazy shit on me. That again,
Henry, do you know what you get when you cross the penis with a potato?
Prick potato?
A dictator.
A dictator. Oh, well, I was good on that prick potato, though, huh?
Yeah, that was a nice one. My dad used to say, if it wasn't for you pricks, us cocksuckers wouldn't be here.
That's it. And again, that's I would like your dad, bro, because that's my motto right there. Everyone's an asshole. It's the douchebags in the world I can't stand.
Hey, Sam's coming up next.
Oh boy, and here we are talking all bad. Sam's an angel. She's a sweetheart, and she's a great person. Yep. Does she have a special guest tonight or no?
I don't know if she does or not. All
right. Well, then
we're gonna get over there.
I say the next week, because hopefully next week I can invite you onto my show and say, "Hey, Darren, teach me." Because if you could teach me, you could teach everybody.
Henry, I'm right here on your show right now, bud.
I know, bro, but I'm saying with the app finish next week.
Right.
You know,
Well,
let's not make a goal. Let's not make
next
a
week on
goal.
your show, Henry. We'll do a couple giveaways where we'll give away a couple of subscriptions for the app.
Yeah, let them be the testers.
You know,
our beta
the
sites.
testing will be done, my friend. We're done with the testing, but we'll get let's get it. We'll get on there. So next week we'll give some subscriptions away on your show. We can give them away for people for Christmas presents or something. You know, like we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, guys, get in there and try that thing out. If
somebody sends me an article that they went and send me a picture on Facebook or no, I don't do TikTok. Don't do TikTok. I hate that damn TikTok. But anyways, I do Instagram. I do have there. I don't use it much. Just Facebook is really good enough for me. It's all I need is one. But yeah, send me a picture of somebody hanging out with somebody with disabilities, and we'll put your name into a hat and. You know, use that app to help teach.
Why don't we put up a wall on your blog page on the website, and we'll put their pictures up on that on the website. People,
bro, you got so much to do now. Listen,
hey, we always got time.
If they get the pictures ready and you have it by next weekend, great. But don't do it now. You got too much to do. You got too much to do now.
Well, that doesn't mean anything, Henry. There's always time for more. And you know, I'm going to let this cat out of the bag. I'm starting a radio station for us also.
Really?
Yep. Sure am, buddy.
Where?
Right here. But,
net station. Okay.
Yeah. So,
there's such a thing?
Yeah. Well, it's called CPS Breaking News. The station.
Cool.
So we'll be doing that. We also have call-in number. I just paid for another 6 months of that. So we'll start getting that pulled up here once we can start integrating all everybody into it. And,
yeah, that'd be great.
Make it run proper.
That'd be great because now I'd be able to reach out to people instead of me having my problems. You know, try to focus more on their stories and see where we can come to, like with a Sunday paper, and see if we can help each other out. Because knowledge is something that they can't stop us from learning, Darren. And again, in the only way we learn is in our environments, because we're not allowed to go into their environments. Because you know how many times I've gone to judges meetings and judges trainings and other open day practice book garbage, sitting up at the legislative office while they're talking in judiciary about new bills, proposed bills. And how it is good or bad, just whatever. You learn a little bit.
Yeah.
And,
yes, you do.
Yeah. Well, bang us out of here, guys. I don't know. My cold snap seems to be letting up wherever you are. I hope it's nice and warm and toasty because me and Darren just went through hell. And when I talked to
we're still here, man. When you're going through hell, keep on going.
Well, yeah, right. On the temperature wise, we got a cold snap up here. That was our first cold snap of the year. So, but yeah, put us on something good, man, and raise my spirits a little bit. Hammer me out.
Hammer and Hank coming at you. Have a good weekend, everybody. Stay tuned for Healing with Sam.
Aren't blue saying fair. You have pulled out your last hair.
Love it, brothers. See you guys later. Thanks for showing tonight. You guys have a good one.
Take you for a ride. The courts don't want to even oppose. That's how we know it's corrupt. My disability has a name. We're all equal and the same. All alone in the courtroom floor, waiting for your hero to bust right through the door. It's hammering Hank every time. He's the one toeing the line. Hammering Hank, he fights for the weak. Hammering Hank, there for you if you can't speak. Hammering Hank is the eyes you don't have. Hammering Hank, making sure you're not last. In the court they do have rules. They don't treat you like your jewels. You commodities. Just because we have difference in our bodies, the law is made for us all. They don't protect us that have files on. He's the answer man you need to be calling. He puts it to an even field. Hammer and Hank, he fights for the weak. Hammer and Hank, there for you if you can't speak. Hammer and Hank is the eyes you don't have. Hammer and Hank, making sure you're not last. When you're a bit different, to phone you free. The playing field is equal, what do you bet? That judge has to toe that line. The eye to make sure every time. Hammer and Hank, he fights for the weak. Hammer and Hank, there for you if you can't speak. Hammer and Hank is the eyes you don't have. Hammer and Hank, making sure you're not last. Hammer and Hank. Hammer and Hank. Hammer and Hank.
They said don't fight the system. They said stay quiet.
They were wrong. Lock in. We are exposing what so many have failed to. We are gonna show you what bar attorneys have hidden from all of us. Hundreds of thousands of children and twice that of parents have been lied to and walked down the road of termination. It's the death penalty. We're all of the protesters, the ones who fight for the rights of prisoners, dogs, illegal immigrants. Why aren't you coming to the aid of our children and families? Right here in America, every day a child per minute is kidnapped.
And no one cares. We fight alone until today. CPS punishers mount up. Here comes
The CPS Punisher.
Anonymous tip, another lie from one of them. No warrant, no proof, just a badge and a grin. Stealing kids like trophies, thinking they'll win. Mama crying on the porch, daddy in the cage. System wrote the script, but the CPS Punisher just flipped the page. The educator they banned, I see every violation, every forged line, every ex-part hearing, every stolen time. One tap of the app and the truth ignites. Welcome to the CPS Punisher, now we can fight.
CPS and the courts have lied to us all.
The courts will not disgrace the family.
CPS Punisher, here to avoid the chains and expose the game. CPS Punisher, the educator they never wanted you to find. Punisher, one tap and their empire cracks. We rise, we take our kids back. The app is called the CPS Punisher. I'm the cape in the shadows, the skull in the night, the binder full of secrets and weapons you all need. Ab initio, watch me void that lie. Fourth Amendment armor, watch the tyrants cry. Falsified drug test gone in a flash. I see Tebio, warrior, due process king. Every parent's hero when the hotline rings. I call it justice. Download the truth, now the system busts us. From the courtroom to the streets, hear the battle cry. The CPS Punishers arrive. Kiss your bar asses goodbye. They tried to silence us, now we're the loudest voice in the room. CPS Punisher, here to avoid the chains and expose the game. CPS Punisher, the educator they never wanted you to find. Punisher, the children never leave again. Punisher, families rise, we never look back. We now use the CPS Punisher. This ain't revenge, this is reunification. This ain't rage, this is resurrection. Open the app, step into the fight. You ready? CPS Punisher, the app you need when they took your kid. CPS Punisher, the truth they hid, now the truth gets lit. Punisher, download the power, take back the throne. Punisher, you're never alone. CPS Punisher. The educator they never wanted you to find. Void complete. Family restored. The bar is finished. The Constitution will prevail. Judges do what's right. Treason is your penalty. Here comes the CPS Punisher.